Hi everyone, welcome back to another Cut Above with Chris. Had my first game of football yesterday, played full 90 minutes, really enjoyed it, absolutely knackered, did no damage, no injuries to the legs, wrists, arms, nothing at all, and really enjoyed it. It was a very non-sort of physical game. It was the first game back since the COVID-19 restrictions were lifted for sports and things and full contact sports, albeit that soccer or football isn't really a full contact sport these days anyway. It was when I was a kid. Today I'm going to be using, I meant to soak this beforehand, I'm just popping a bit of water in it now to allow it to soak a little bit. Barrister and Man, or Barrister's Reserve Cool shaving soap. I love the label, very minimalistic, just that little blue rose, which was actually the colour of the roses from my wedding, or from our wedding. And the scent on it is, I really like the scent, but it's one of those ones that it sort of goes back to old man scent, you know, Brute and Old Spice and all those sort of things, even tobacco. But the more I use them, the more I start to enjoy them. Now, to be honest with you, this is quite similar to, or along the lines of a barber shop. It's quite powdery, it's quite sort of, it's almost floral. I can't really put my finger on it, but it's a nice scent. It's definitely a manly scent, or it's more suited to men, I would say. I don't think a woman would be able to pass off this too much. But let's just see how bad it is. Now I've got some water that I've just literally put on. I meant to soak this a little bit longer, so it's only been soaked for a very short time. Barrister's Reserve comes to you, if it's brand new, almost like a cream, a very firm cream, but it's not a soap as such, it's more of a croap. When you leave it or you have it for a long time, I've had this for a couple of years now, 2 or 3 years, it really firms up and becomes a very hard soap. And I find just chucking a bit of hot water on top of it, I generally try to use really hot water. It softens that top layer and allows me to get into the soap a little bit easier and load the brush. In terms of blooming it, if that's what you want to be doing, it does bloom the scent does bloom out of there. I generally do this for the soaking of the soap and actually softening hard soaps. So I'm just going to wet my face. I'm going to get my razor, which is the Karve Christopher Bradley razor with, I think it's a 7th or an 8th use Wizamet Super Iridium blade. I'm going to pop that in the hot water in the sink just to warm it up a bit. I'm going to grab the bloom water or the soaking water, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's not soaked for long enough. Normally I would have a lot of slickness from the reserve base, but there's not a lot there because it hasn't soaked for long. Now the brush I've got soaking in here, probably just a little bit too high for this one, but this one doesn't lose any hairs, so I'm not that worried about it. It's my turn and shave 20mm, 30mm whipped dog boar. So there is the base of the handle. I think Milton knocked this one out of the park, really. I think it really suits the size of the knot. The knot is a very, very strange knot from Whipped Dog. I don't know where he gets his knots from. I don't know whether he ties them himself, I'm not sure, but I've never seen a bow knot quite like this before. And it is my favourite bow in the den, right next to my Omega 26mm that I got from Grey Dog. That's a beautiful brush as well, that knot's incredible. It's got heaps of backbone and loads of scrub but no scritch or scratch, whereas this one doesn't have loads of backbone. It's got no scritch or scratch, a very soft knot, but it ladders very well and it works beautifully. I think it does a fantastic job. So I'm just getting a good load into it here, as you can see. Can you see? The main problem I've encountered with the reserve base is underloading the brush. So I do tend to overload it with the reserve. Right, that'll do me. I'm not going to mess about with it anymore, I don't think I have to. There is the brush loaded, my 30mm Whipped Dog. I'm going to scoop all the excess from around the tub and inside the tub. Right, let's clean the soap out. The Barrister Reserve base is a good base. it takes a while to get used to it. It's taken me a long time to get used to it, in all honesty, and actually learn how to lather it a bit. Now there is a video out there on YouTube through West Coast Shaving where Will from Barrister Man actually sits down and explains how to lather it. Now, in all honesty, I think that's probably creating a lather to a sort of unneeded level when you've got to have a video how to lather a soap because of its makeup. This was essentially made, I believe, to be very workable in hard water areas, which I have. Such a good knob. You can see the splay on it's not much. It's got enough backbone that pushes back a bit. Doesn't really get much better for me for a face lathering knob. This one really pushes the boundaries of even with synthetics. The soap tastes exactly like it smells. Like, if you like the taste and smell of old man cologne, brilliant. Can't go wrong. It's definitely got a very barbershop type thing going on, which seems to be my flavour of the month at the moment. I'm really enjoying barbershop scents. It's not a scent I used to enjoy, to be honest. It was always one that was on the fence. I never disliked them, but I didn't love them. Now I've got a real liking for them. And the fact that they're all unique generally. You don't smell two barbershops from two different companies that smell identical. They may smell similar, like the Sterling and Nobolotta Bar, but on the whole, now with Barrister Reserve, don't chase a voluminous lather, as in a massive voluminous lather. What I've got here is pretty much about as much volume as you'll get into it. I don't think you would get it much. Much more voluminous than this. And to be honest with you, you don't really need it much more voluminous than this. I just like making lathers. Right. One of the wife's hairs again. Happy days. Does my head in. Really does. Look, where is it? I can't even grab it. There we go. Got it. Right, let's grab the razor out of the water and get going. This has got the A plate, and like I said, it was a Met Super Iridium blade on 8th or 9th or 10th use. Johan over at Shave and Butcher has been asking whether I've been getting closer shaves with the Chevette than I do with my DE, and I haven't, really, I really haven't. This DE razor, this Karve, whenever I'm on fire with it, It's just fantastic. And because I've been shaving with a DE for so long now, and with each shave I get better and better and closer with a D, closer to BBS shave. The Feather Artists Club Chevette just doesn't really get me close enough in terms of this. It gets me close enough to a very, very good shave. If you're not savvy with the words, they call it a DFS, or a damn fine shave, which isn't a BBS shave. It's very, very close. And you know, in all honesty, looking at it, it might look BBS, but it's not. So that's how good this Chevette is for me as well. And here we go across the grain. I really enjoy this 8 plate. It's not the most efficient plate. Well, I'll say that. It's very efficient. It's just not quite as efficient as the B and the C, obviously. I think these Wizamet blades are so sharp but smooth. Right, we'll add a number 3. Now that's very, very pasty. I could add some water. The great thing with DE razors, when it's thick and pasty, it doesn't really make much difference to your shave as long as you have that slickness, a little bit of water on your blades, on your razor. Brilliant. I don't think I've ever done a full pass before without rinsing a razor off. Residual slickness from the reserve base is very, very good. I don't think it's as good as Excelsior. To be honest, unless you really nail this lather, it's not as good as the Civic, the Glisson base either, I don't find. My lather today is very, very close to as good as Barrister's Reserve gets, really. That was one, very close. Super comfortable, minimal irritation. I think I've got one weeper down the bottom right of my neck, and I've got two here, just two little ones. But they shall disappear very, very soon when I smack some aftershave splash on. Oh yes. Now the post shave from all of Barrister Man range, from the Glissant base right through Reserve to Excelsior, the post shave's excellent on all of them. You know, I would say the Excelsior does hold the edge on them, but the margins are so small these days with all artisans that really, it's all personal preference in that some people might react to some soap bases, some people might react to the scents, some people might find the prices of some things too much, you know, and that's when your sterlings and things come into play. You know, they're a lot cheaper to get, they're a lot more soap as well, you know, you get 5.8 ounces of sterling soap. It's about, in some cases, between $15 and $20 cheaper than another artisan. So it's really whatever works for you. I love this knot on this handle, I really do. One weeper there, one weeper there, and that's it. But that's a really, really close shave. Brilliant. Put my glass to the side. Now I am going to start off with the splash, and I'm going to finish off with Australian Private Reserve, the AP Reserve Cool. Now I've got two bottles of this. I've got this bottle here, and I've got another bottle which is like the latest bottle, brown bottle. This one's actually blue. The colour of the liquid is blue. I don't know whether it's any good for your skin or not, but it is blue. Good splash of that. I don't know whether you can actually see it. Yeah, I'm sure you can. There you go. So that is the colour of the liquid just in my palm there. Oh, absolutely beautiful. Right, just going to wet my hands now. And then grab a squirt of the Australian Private Reserve Essentials. Just put it straight on there. The menthol kick from the Barrister's Reserve. All Barrister Man splashes basically, I think. They've all got that hit of menthol that's just outstanding. Pop that to the side. So here we have it, Barrister's Reserve Cool. Lovely label on the top, lovely label on the bottom. Now I believe Barrister Man are moving away from these quality tubs into, I think it's a cheaper tub as well. Really for cost saving, I would imagine, I'm not sure. But this has got 4 ounces of soap. That's the ingredients list there if you want to have a look. That's what the soap looks like after a few years. The scent strength is still very strong. It's like a 6 scent strength. When you get that splash on, it just explodes in scent strength. It really does. The brush was the Turn and Shave 30mm whipped dog boar. Look at that knot. It's absolutely brilliant. It really is. 30mm of beautifully soft bow knot. It never eats a lather. It never ruins a lather. It just works perfectly well. The razor. Oh, what would you say about Karve razors, really? I mean, I love them. I think they're brilliant. I don't think there's anything better DE wise on the market that I've tried, and I've tried a few. I've tried a fair few. I think it's the best razor you can buy, your money can buy. Doesn't work for everyone, so please bear that in mind. It's not just because it's brilliant for me doesn't mean it's going to work brilliantly for you. But I don't recommend things, and I won't say something is great if it isn't great. Or like I say, for me, when I use it, if I think it's great, I'll tell you it's great. If I think it's average, I'll tell you it's average. If it's just plain shit, I will tell you it's just plain shit. Barrister's Reserve Cool Aftershave Splash. This stuff's phenomenal. You can see the colour there, how blue it is. brilliant. The scent, whew, such a great scent, so strong as well. And this lasts a while, and this is only the splash. AP Reserve Essentials, Restoration Peptide Concentrate Serum. Still got a fair bit in there, but I can feel now that it is starting to get to its last legs. So hopefully I'll get another 2 or 3 weeks out of it, see how we go. I'm going to go back to when my first video was, and that'll give me an idea of how long it's lasted and whether it's worth your hard-earned $50 Australian from Beard and Blade. And with that, stay safe, drive safe, don't drink and drive, and I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.